Remember here, so analyses of sorts. Let's get into it, man. Pattern recognition is not xenophobia.
Mengisondela siqale siza ngokuqhuma kwesibhamu sakhala kathatha isibhamu mesiqeda kukhala kathatha isibhamu sahamba sayobheka lapha neMcDonald mesifika impela bekunamadoda amathatha phansi 2 were already dead and 1 was still alive ephuma igazi lapha emqaleni nalapha emakhaleni so ubhuti esebenza eMcDonald esevala impela lapha neMcDonald mebesho ngokwenzeka kwezinto amatopia ayalwa because yesterday khona omunye odutshuliwe washawa ikhanda there's a footage of a man who was shot yesterday. And then last week bakhona baye futhi abashonile so kahle kahle ngokumthetha kufe abantu abawu7 in a space of 2 months. Yes, ikona lokho kwenzekile lapha mama.
So did you see the shooters?
I mean, guys, this is pretty serious. He said 7 people have been killed in the past 2 months. He said you won't hear anything from the news making or emphasizing that there are serial killings taking place because of Somalians and Ethiopians who don't want people to open up, who don't want South Africans to open up businesses next to them. These people hire hitmen. Sometimes they hire South African hitmen to kill South Africans to stop us from opening businesses next to them. So this is a clear instruction, I think, from on high, from Rupert or Oppenheimer, to say, hey, you can kill in South Africa and kill black South Africans with impunity. You will not go to prison. Even if the police arrest you, they will release you on bail immediately, or you can just pay a bribe and you'll be released immediately. We are being systematically genocided here because there's just nowhere where you find this type of thing where foreigners are serial killing the natives and there's no repercussions. There's no punishment for it.
No, le shooters asiwabonanga sizwe nje ngokuqhuma kwesibhamu mina ngiwabonanga amehlo wami abantu abadubulile ngibone abantu abashonile yebo abantu abashonile ngibabonile impela the shooters I did not see.
You are saying this is actually 7 people in a space of a month.
Yes, in a space.
And you work here. Are you fearing for your life? How do you feel about the safety of this specific area where you work from?
We are not safe because we do not know what they are fighting about and they are scaring away our customers because as we are working here right now, it's saying we were forced to close and now we have opened again, but we are scared. We don't know what is going to happen next because this is scary, guys. This is very, very scary. Because we don't understand what's happening. Can they stop shooting each other? Because they are disturbing our businesses and they are scaring our customers away.
Let's talk about disturbing your businesses. What do you do here? How long have you been operating here?
We've been operating for about 7 years maybe. We do makeup. Here's our business card. Pause makeup. We do makeup. We do installations, nails, such things, yes. And then these people, they're disturbing our business. So can they please stop that, what they are doing? Please. Please.
Thank you so much, Musa Wenkosi. That is Musa.
Guys, mega churches in South Africa, the televangelists, the Nigerian preachers, South Africans, please wake up. Stop frequenting these churches. You guys need to wake up. These people are using the church to smuggle people into the country under the guise of, oh, these are spiritual leaders from Nigeria. This is a deacon, this is a pastor, etc., etc. Then they're moving drugs, they're laundering money in those churches. You think God or the Holy Spirit is in that church. No, they're doing other demonic activities in those churches. They've got altars. They're doing rituals on you. They're doing rituals with your money. Please leave those churches. Bankrupt those churches. Those are not churches. Your pastor is the richest guy in your church, but the members are poor. It's the same as politicians. Your politicians are the richest people in the country, but the people are poor. How does that make any sense? Stop going to these people's churches. Book Christ Embassy and allegedly, etc., etc. These types of Nigerian churches, avoid them. Stay far away from them. Anything to do with the Nigerian pastor, is already a fake. Anything to do with these African prophets that left their own countries. You mean to tell me God doesn't have a prophecy for your own country of origin? He told you to come to South Africa to come prophesy over the people of South Africa and to leave your people to in turmoil? How does that make any sense? What kind of God are you serving?
Unfortunately, when we look at the geography of this country and how it's being made up, right, we also know that the poverty, right, is hidden from the main arteries. Why? Because we've got all the big farms right here on the highway. Along the highways, you're driving a lot, you can see the big farms. You know what I mean? You can see what they're planting. You can also see water. All their little private dams. You're driving across, you're like, oh, so many private dams, so much water. Where she comes from, there's none of that. There's lots of land, but none of the land is able to keep water. And then we realize that the crux of the conversation that we have with our brother Uandile last week is that this land is being kept so they can store water.
A Nigerian lady was arrested for having 7 fake passports. 7 fake passports in Canada. A 44-year-old Nigerian woman by the name of Nina Akita, based in Ontario, Canada, was arrested by Canadian authorities. Border officers discovered 7 forged passports. Among those passports, 2 of them were South African passports, fake South African passports, and 5 fake Gambian passports. Now, these documents, guess where they were found at? In her sandals. In her sandals that was in a large shipment from Nigeria, arriving from Nigeria to the Toronto airport. All the passports reportedly had the same photo but different names and details indicating identity fraud. Why in the world would you have 7 fake passports? What are you doing with those passports? And this is the reason why they start restricting the Nigerian passport. It's only going to become weaker. The Nigerian passport is only going to become weaker with scams like this, all this identity theft. Now, at this moment, the case is being handled by the Royal Canadian Police after initial discovery by the border officials. So yeah, 7 passport. Who are you? Are you CIA? Are you Africa CIA? Are you the African James Bond? Like, why do you have 7 fake passports?
Every call that I receive, I pick it up. So he said, "Are you Mazru's sister?" I said, "Yes." And immediately from your sleep, I was like, "Yes, I am." And then he said, "We have your brother." And everything, it happened so quickly. He was so forceful. He did not even give me time to think. However, overall, because they had someone who sounded like him, even now I'm struggling with that voice. It sounded like he was crying. Then they demanded money. We cleaned out our accounts. It was me and my sister. We cleaned out our accounts only to find that it was a scam. So we were scammed by cruel people who took advantage of our situation. Britain, who contacted me, I think she sent the text in the early hours of Sunday morning. I think it was around 2 or 3 when I woke up.
You can bet your bottom dollar that the scammers were Nigerians, because only Nigerians are this heartless that they would target their fellow African to scam them of their hard-earned money, to tell them to pay them a certain amount so they can release their brother, knowing that these people are in distress. It's only Nigerians that can do that. Nigerians are known for kidnapping for ransom. They might have not done the kidnapping of Mazwi, because we know Mazwi was kidnapped by Somalians and Ethiopians. But when it comes to the whole ransom thing, that is a Nigerian trademark. And it's a pity, it's a shame that they target their fellow Black Africans and nobody says anything about xenophobia when they do things like this. Nobody says it's xenophobic. It's just reported as a crime, but nobody says it's a xenophobic attack against black South Africans. It's a shame to do something like this to a human being when they're in distress with somebody missing and then you imitate the voice of their brother. I
received the text from her. She just told me that I saw your brother's picture on Facebook and I've had this dream. And then she described the way where my brother was. So that same Sunday, obviously we went to follow the demarcations that she described, but we could not find the exact place. So what we did, and then we decided to come back home. And then just when we were deciding, because we were heading north, and then there was a car heading to our direction. It was a Somali national who was driving a white bakkie. Me and him, we locked eyes. Then I asked my husband, let's just follow this guy. Maybe we'll find something. And it was 2 cars. The other cars were with my brothers. And now they had stepped out of the car. They were just looking. While we were following this car, we told them that we think let's just follow this car. Maybe we'll find something. And this guy started acting funny. He just speed off. Then we followed him. It was a scene. It was like a movie scene. We had to call the cops. So we ended up not continuing with the search. So we decided that today, let's go back to that place. And then we asked the community of Villalisa to help us. We found incredible good people. We've been there around 11 this morning. We've been with you guys. We only came back now. We've walked, when I check my steps, we've walked more than 20 kilometers looking for my brother. So the Good Samaritan that told us about that place, everything checks out. Everything that she saw in her dreams checks out. I just want to highlight that she has never met me. She has not even asked to meet me, and she did not even ask for a cent. She just told me about her dream. And in our search today, we felt strongly that we need to go back tomorrow. So we will go back again tomorrow to try again, because we've tried everything that you can think of. We've tried everything, but everything, it just falls flat. Our only hope now is the search that we've started conducting on Sunday.
So, over 60 Nigerians were arrested in Uganda a few days ago. But before I dive deeper, it is important to note that Nigerians are not the only foreign nationals that were arrested by the Ugandan authorities in Uganda. Other foreign nationals were also arrested as well. But I'm posting this video because I posted a video about this before the arrest. I stated it clear. Other African countries feel the same way that South Africans and Ghanaians feel about Nigerians. The difference is that South Africans and Ghanaians are bold enough to speak up. They are bold enough to carry out real-time action. But trust me, so many African countries feel the same way about Nigerians. Okay, they are tired of Nigerians. It's not just South Africans. The difference is that South Africans are bold enough to take action. So some Nigerians that may think that other African countries love Nigerians, they don't. They are just waiting for any slight mistake to strike. One slight mistake from Nigerians, they will
just to go back to the lady that was talking about the kidnapping guys. I don't know if if you were paying attention, you'd hear that she's talking about how they're conducting the search by themselves. The question is, where are the police? We pay taxes. Where are the police? Do you see the problem here with South Africa? Anything that affects a black South African, there's no law enforcement involved. The police don't care. Any crime committed by a foreigner, the police will not help a black South African who suffered at the hands of that foreigner. So when we take matters into our own hands and people call us xenophobic, that's also weaponizing that word and basically silencing us and trying to stop us from seeking justice for ourselves in a system that is against us, just like apartheid. You know, these Africans will tell you, we helped you fight apartheid. You didn't help fight apartheid. You took a stance against apartheid. You supported us against apartheid and you showed solidarity, but you did not fight. To fight implies you were on the ground. You didn't send your troops. Nigeria, you didn't send any troops to come fight against the apartheid government. In fact, you were supplying the apartheid government with oil and making money. You did not help to fight against apartheid. To fight means you sent troops, you were engaged in some kind of physical combat. You were not involved in the fighting. You took a stance just like the rest of the world did. So you cannot claim the victory of apartheid. These same countries that claim that they fought apartheid, why can't you fight your governments right now and show us? You claim South Africa's victories, but you can't win your own victories in your home countries. You say, oh, we kicked out white people, and your countries deteriorated after that. Stupid move. Why would you kick white people out who built your nations? Why would you kick them out? They built your countries, they built your infrastructure, and you kick them out. Now you're failing to lead yourselves, and you're criticizing us for having white people in our country. Yet these same Africans can't wait to run to Canada, to the UK, to America to go be under a white system because they love the organization, sophistication, and civilization that white people build. And yet they kick them out of their country. Now they're begging for the white man to come back to their countries to help them. Africans are failures, man. That's why South Africans, we don't want to be associated with Africans. You know how they say North Africans are not a part of Africa? They say sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan implying the bottom half of the northern side of Africa. The Northern Africans, they made it out because they don't even get associated with Africans. That's what we would like as South and Southern Africans, because we can do much better on our own rather than being dragged down by Africans who have no ambition and desire to progress and to develop their own nations. The typical African's vision and idea of success is them making it out of Africa and living in a white man system. They've got no ambition to build their own countries. I'm talking men, grown men, big, strong, tall, grown men that are complete cowards and can't stand up for anything in their own countries. 50 children were kidnapped in Nigeria and a teacher beheaded last week. You didn't see Nigerian men saying anything about it. They're waiting to hear some news coming out of South Africa so they can make videos and call South Africans xenophobic, even though they are selling drugs in South Africa to their fellow black men, destroying the lives of black people, targeting black people with drugs and syndicates, prostituting young girls, making baby factories, baby making factories so they can prostitute and sell little children, black children. These are people that call themselves Pan-Africanist and that accuse us of xenophobia, but they hate black people the most. They terrorize the most lives across the African continent. Nigerians, this is. Nobody calls them out for it. Nobody calls them xenophobic. The double standard and hypocrisy in Africa makes it so that we are a continent that cannot and should not be taken seriously. That's why we don't want to be a part of whatever's going on in Africa. We've got our own nations to worry about. And we would like for everybody to leave our country and focus on building their own nations. It's not our responsibility to take care of you. We're not a nanny state. And you didn't help us fight apartheid. You took a stance, just like the rest of the world did. You didn't fight. We fought. We won. In fact, we're still fighting because apartheid systems are not entirely dismantled. But we're on the ground and we're still fighting. We haven't left. We haven't run away from South Africa. We're still there fighting every day, while you guys are trying to reap the benefits of where you did not sow. Typical leeches, typical African parasites. That's all they know, to run to greener pastures where other men have built and then claim that they contributed somehow.
Carry out mass deportation of Nigerians. Like any African country today that Nigerians reside in a large number and they don't come on social media to make noise, trust me, one slight mistake from Nigerians in that country will be enough for that country to carry out mass deportation of Nigerians. People are just waiting for opportunity. Don't think every African country cherish Nigerians or they love Nigerians with passion. They don't. And this is not to say they hate Nigerians as well. They don't hate Nigerians or hate Nigeria as a country. The reality is that people are tired of negativity. It is no longer about whether this Nigerian is a criminal or not. It is about the visibility of our negativity. It is about the visibility of our crimes, the visibility of our mindless behavior, the visibility of our illegal dealings. You see? So people are watching and waiting for opportunity to strike. Now it is Uganda. It may be Kenya next. I said it in one of my videos. Okay? Ghanaians are not the only ones telling Nigerians to leave their country. South Africans are not the only Africans telling Nigerians to leave their country. Even outside Africa, in Europe, in Asia, people are complaining about us. And most countries have had it up to Senate, so they are now taking action. But in South Africa, South Africans are no longer waiting for their government to take action. They are now taking actions by themselves. That is the difference. So don't think if you're a Nigerian in Zimbabwe, you are somehow safe, or if you're a Nigerian in Kenya, you are somehow safe. If there's no protest against Nigerians in Kenya today, that does not mean that tomorrow there will be no protest against Nigerians in Kenya. If there's no protest against Nigerians in Gabon, Morocco, Sierra Leone, that does not mean that tomorrow there will be no protest against Nigerians. And this is not to say people hate Nigeria as a country. People just hate the way Nigerians behave, things we do, how we disrespect others, and our loudness, our false confidence. People are just tired. So my advice to you as a Nigerian in Kenya, mind yourself, mind your business, respect yourself. Mind your business, respect yourself. Don't confront people. No. Even when you are on the right side, do not fight back. Find a way to walk away. Please. One small mistake from Nigerians in Kenya, Kenyans will strike back. The way you guys don't expect. Likewise, in any other African country, people are just waiting for opportunity. Okay? The reality is that people are tired. You don't have to commit crime. It doesn't matter if your paper is complete or not. The moment they find out you're a Nigerian, you're a suspect. Because there is story about Nigerians out there to justify their accusation. Okay? So please, be reasonable. If you're a Nigerian in Kenya, a Nigerian in Uganda, like a Nigerian in any African country or Asia, anywhere you are as a Nigerian at this moment, be careful. There is a global outcry against Nigerians. People are tired of Nigerians. See the way people are complaining about Israel. That's how people are complaining about Nigerians all over the world. So please be careful as a Nigerian. Be careful and avoid illegal dealings at this moment.
Look, if we really want African unity, we're going to have to stop gaslighting poor South Africans. We're going to have to stop gaslighting them. As we speak, South African residents from Kagiso, the East Rand of Johannesburg, have been displaced from their homes for months. They are homeless due to the incessant violence occurring in their community. They are being terrorized by Zamazamas. Zamazamas primarily from where? Lesotho, Mozambique, Zimbabwe. Also, in my hood in Soweto, children, literally like over 12 children, unalived from spaza shop food sold by foreigners. So imagine if me, with my middle class English and my degree, I go to these people and I tell them, you're being xenophobic. And I speak down to my own people. I speak down to my own people, despite the fact that they are facing very real challenges that I, as a privileged person that lives in the suburbs and grew up primarily in the suburbs, will never have to face. I'll never have to face eating poisonous food from a spaza shop. Do you know why? Because I can go buy food from Woolworths. I'll never have to face living in an area terrorized by illegal miners from other countries. I try to understand why people think the way they do, instead of just labeling South Africans as violent savages. Because at the end of the day, yes, xenophobic rhetoric does exist, right? But at the same time, let's not label an entire group of people as violent, irrational savages when they are actually facing real problems in their communities that the government refuses to address. And every time the government refuses to address these issues, what happens? It escalates into extreme violence, which is what we saw in Kugompo, in Eastern Cape. Who does it benefit? The narrative that we are violent, irrational, hateful people, when I truly believe at our core we are not. I'm also not saying violence is okay or justified or encouraging violence. The government should, like, they know by now. They just don't care, you know? It's just the thing of who does it benefit when we are continuously in these situations? And obviously, it benefits the people at the top.
You can get poor working class white people to vote for you, even though your policies will help rich folk, then you've done half the job. If you can get those poor working class white people to believe that their enemies are not rich plutocrats and oligarchs, but the poor brown family that lives next door, then you're on to keeping power. It's a crappy system, but it's bad people in a bad system.
There's a viral video of these two Nigerian streamers who are in the UK. So they're doing a vlog over there. And as they're doing that, they meet a South African woman, quote unquote, supposedly. So the South African woman is hungry and she asks food from them or some money to buy some food. And they decide to give her £10. But after the interaction, they actually ask her where she's from. And she says she's from South Africa. And that's when they proceeded to take their money back. So they're saying that they're not going to give her money because in South Africa, there's xenophobia and we are treating other African countries very badly. And okay, I'll put that on the side, the thing that they're saying that South Africans treat, Nigerians very badly. But let's attend the whole video, the whole interaction, because to me, the whole video looks staged. It doesn't look real. And another thing as well, the South African lady supposedly doesn't have a South African accent. And another thing as well, South Africans are not very famous for begging. Even here in Jozi, in South Africa, around South Africa, most of the beggars are illegal immigrants or general immigrants. It's not really South Africans. So that in itself, it's weird. And why would a South African go to UK and beg? Like, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, just judge the video for yourself. Here's the clip.
Manchester, you understand? Money. We are in the street of Manchester.
Sorry, excuse me, do you have some cash on you?
Sorry?
I need to buy some food. I'm really hungry. I don't have cash.
Did they make money for this country? I don't week. After a year, I just don't make the meal. You owe small money there. I don't owe any money. How much will be okay to buy food?
Any amount is fine.
Any amount.
So back to the point that South Africans are treating immigrants very badly. First of all, it's not all South Africans that are doing that. It's a selected group of South Africans, a very loud minority of people, March and March, and a couple of people from Dudula, random people. It's not really the whole of South Africa that have that sentiment. And I would argue that majority of South Africans don't have a problem with immigrants, but the criminal elements of illegal immigrants and general immigrants, because it's disheartening as South Africans if the criminal comes into the country illegally, or it might be legal and they do crime. It feels like, okay, you betrayed us. We allowed you in the country. Now you are betraying us. You are harassing our sisters, or doing heists or doing physical violence to some of the people, mugging and all of those kind of crimes, or even drug peddling, especially drug peddling from Nigerians and stuff. So those are the kind of things that make South Africans feel some other way. But when South Africans talk about this, they're called xenophobic, right? When South Africans highlight the fact that they are illegal immigrants and some immigrants come here for criminality, they don't become stand-up citizens. You get what I mean? So that's the whole thing. But yeah, the video, man, the video is fake. Like, the way I see it, it just doesn't make sense for this lady. And try to listen to the accent one more time. Let me just play the clip of that lady talking. Like, you can hear that, nah, man, she's not South African, this lady.
Sorry, excuse me, do you have some cash on you?
Sorry?
I need to buy some food. I'm really hungry. I don't have cash.
They make money for this country. I don't week after year. I just don't make the meal. You owe small money there. I don't owe any money. How much will be okay to buy food?
Any amount is fine.
Any amount. I hold like £10 here.
So yeah, we do get the point that there are people who are harassing, normal civilians and all of that, but it's not the whole of South Africa. They need to make a distinction. And right now, it's very tense in South Africa, man, with the xenophobia and all of that. So yeah, I kinda understand where this guy is coming from, but they don't need to stage a video to make South Africans look like beggars, making themselves look like the bigger man. They're trying to teach South Africans lessons. Like, come on, man. Like, rather wait for a real opportunity and show how South Africans really behave. Because I can assure you, most South Africans are stand-up people. That's what I'm saying. Even the ones that are harassing people, they're a small minority, very loud minority. Majority of South Africans are normal people, man, and they don't have problems with immigrants.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this South African individual, this gentleman here, unfortunately, is a moron, because for him to criticize March and Dudula, who are literally fighting for the future of South Africa, to ensure that people like him and his children have a future in this country. If you criticize that, you're a moron. You don't understand what's going on. And worst of all, you're trying to defend South Africans by saying, it's only a few people that are xenophobic. There is no xenophobia in South Africa. Not one South African is xenophobic. What you are seeing from South Africans is a retaliation of 3 decades of abuse and criminality from foreigners against us. We are now standing up. We are pushing back and saying enough is enough. You cannot classify that as xenophobic, because you got to look at the original offense. The people that we opened our arms to, we opened our borders to and said, come into the country, enjoy the spoils of what we fought for and died for. And then you come in and you target black South Africans with your crime, with your rape, with your drugs, with your human trafficking. It's a betrayal. And then now when we retaliate and we say we don't want you in our country anymore, you use the word xenophobia, which didn't come from Nigerians. Nigerians don't know how to speak English. This word xenophobia must have come from white capital somewhere, and it was planted in the media and then given to Nigerians to run with. Because like I've said before many times in my videos, that Nigeria is a CIA operative. They are here to destroy Africa, right? So it's absolute nonsense to say that a South African girl was begging somewhere in Manchester. We don't do that. Even the accent is not, that accent sounds like a Nigerian girl. But this is what Nigerians need to do to try to make themselves look good. They have to lie and stage videos, right? Like that other lady that was saying, they're killing us like chicons. They're killing us like chickens. Just lies. That's the only way these guys can compete. They have to cheat every single time. When you bring legitimate claims and show that these people are selling drugs and destroying the youth in South Africa, they retaliate by making up a narrative and making up a lie and pushing the agenda of xenophobia. That's their only defense, because they can't use the truth. They say Nigerians are being killed, or Nigerians were being killed during the protest. There's not a single Nigerian that was killed during a protest. The 2 people that they mentioned that were killed had nothing to do with the actual protests. They always just lie. They lie through their teeth. They can't tell. They don't have an honest bone in their bodies. And then they stage videos like this to make themselves look like they're still the giants. You're not giants of anything. So many African countries have overtaken Nigeria. Nigeria has never been the giants of anything. They can't develop their country. They don't have an IQ, collective IQ, that's high enough to build a civilization.
Where are you from? Where? South Africa. What do you say? No, I'm sorry, I can't give you. What do you mean? Why are you asking what do I mean? I can't give you money. Why would I give you money? Give him now, give him. What's that? You don't know what is South Africa. This is a message to South Africa. You guys should stop the xenophobia against other African countries. You guys should stop treating other African countries like trash.
You opened up my mind and cured my blindness and
A Nigerian man was just sentenced to almost 2 years for selling fake nursing degrees, transcripts, and license. He operated out of Maryland. Patrick, won't you go? Won't you go get you one of these fake nursing degrees? That was his sell pitch to his clientele. Now, how this scheme, this operation went down, he used schools, a school in Virginia, a nursing school in Virginia, and a nursing school in Palm Beach, Florida. Now, these schools already lost their license to operate as a nursing school. So what he told these people that brought these degrees and transcripts and license from him, he told them, don't put a date on the paperwork. We're going to predate the time you graduated, the time that these degrees was issued before the nursing schools lost their license, before the nursing schools lost their ability to operate as a nursing school. So these degrees will be valid. And he sold them anywhere from $6,000 to $17,000. And he operated for 3 years, accumulating they want to say $1.5 million. So yeah, only 2 years, 21 months. And these nurses, right? These people that brought these degrees, they're out there working in hospitals. Yeah, somewhere between Maryland. Who knows? They could be anywhere. Even just because he operated out of Maryland, that don't mean the people that brought these fake degrees stayed in the Maryland area or the DMV area. But yeah, Patrick, won't you go get you one of those fake nursing degrees? Nigerian man, 55.
Watinda tina, watinda banga sokufa, safa saphenduka saphenduka nje bovu. Watinda tina, wemodo,
Now, where police have launched a manhunt for a 34-year-old suspect who escaped from custody on Sunday.
Tumelo Raledi is considered dangerous and was arrested for violent crimes, including rape, attempted murder, and 2 murders.
He escaped while under police guard at Maputa Malachi Hospital in Namakhali.
Now, police say all available resources are being used to track him down and are urging anyone with information to contact them.
Isn't that ironic that when it's a South African, all available resources are sent out to go and find this individual? But we've got Somalians that are kidnapping and killing our people in broad daylight, and no resources are being set out to find these people. South Africans have to find and solve crimes themselves. I hope you guys see it. This is just pattern recognition. We're just identifying patterns.
Banana ba ratanang le matswantle le basadi le bomme ba ratanang le matswantle kore mosadi thu mosadi le re buisa hampe hleng la tseba le re buisa hampe jwang no jena nana lona ke re le ratana le bona la ba rata gona ha re ratane le bona ha re soka re ratana le bona ha re ba rata maro sotho basadi ba South Africa ke bona ba tsamaisang AIDS tšhomi ka baka la lona mogotsi and ha o go tlo sheba tšhomi wena ha o soka o tswa o ya out of the country ha isa le o le in South Africa bona ke bona ba fetang di country tse 18 hore ba tle mona maro thwa ke rona re tsamaisang AIDS gore ba re kenyeletsa kaofela mo la bona bothata be re nang le bona haholoholo ke boo. And ha ba qeta ha ba fihla kwana basading ba bona ba re le nkga dipantu. Jwale se re tsebahala kaofela basadi ba South Africa ba nkga sepantu ka baka la lona bo metjhomisa. Mokgotsi ho thwa ha ra ruteha ka baka la lona tjhomi, because ba re ha le tsebe sekgowa mokgotsi. Ha ba fihla basading ba bona ka kwa ho thwa ha le tsebe sekgowa, ba kgona ho le seba ba ntse ba bua sekgowa le diteng mona ha le utlwe niks mokgotsi. And ha le qeta mokgotsi e le entseng e tenang ka ho fetisisa ke ena ya hore le tsamaye le lo nyalwa ka di-150, batho ba ntse ba re ke di-life partner, di be le iketse ka reng ha le utlwisise life partner ke eng. Nou tjenanana re se re tsebahala rona re le batho ba domo fela ba mathisang AIDS, ba tswallang bana ba dinaha tse ding ka hare ho naha ya rona. Re tsebahala re le basadi bao ba jwalo, kore la e bona ntho ya lona ye ya banna bana ba lona be le ba ratang, e se ka re ra ba rata kaofela basadi ba South Africa. La re tellisa guys, le re buisa hampe ka matswantle. Rona batho ba bang re itlhomphile, ha re batle utlwa niks, re boulela naha ya bo rona, ha re batle ho nne ho kena ho tswa ka hare ho mmele ya rona. Lona le ba kentse ka hare ho mmele ya lona, nou tjenanana e se le rona basadi ba South Africa kaofela se re le bo makgosha tjhomi. Nou tjenanana basadi ba dinaha tsena tse ding, ha o qala fela o re wa bua o le mosadi wa South Africa ho thwa o na le HIV, o na le AIDS. Mara ha o tlo sheba batho ba South Africa ha ba tsamaye ba ye di-countries tse ding. Ha re tsamaye re ye di-country tse ding rona. Re dula re le mona South Africa mara ke rona re tsamaisang AIDS. Guys, wa tseba nou tjena ha o le mosadi o tlameha o itjhebe, o ikgalemele. La re nyatsisa, la re tellisa, le re buisa hampe ka ditlatla tsa dinaheng tse ding. Le re tellisa ka banana bana baneng le balile bo sekolo lona tjhomi, ha le tsebe bo sekgowa, ha le tsebe niks, ha le nwa niks e nang le kelello e le etsang. O bone hore ha le na kelello o lo papadisa moshemane wa letswantle a o siya ka bana mo. The next thing bana bao ba lona bao ba re ha ba ba batle ke di-bad seeds. Ba re ke dipeo tse mpe, ba re ha ba batle bana ba lona. Wena o busy o ntso ba emarela. Le re buisang hampe bathong, e ke le buleng ditsebe. Ke a tseba sekgowa ha le sotlwe, ke ntho e ke ipoleletseng hore ke tlo le bolella ka Sesotho, wa e bona, because a ke re ba etsa di-video tsa sekgowa bona. So guys, a simply itukiseng.
If you feel threatened,
basically, that lady was speaking in Sesotho, talking about the bad behavior of South African women who are allowing these foreigners to use them and then to speak badly about them and to say some horrible things about them after the fact. And all South African women then get lumped up in the same categories of all these terrible stereotypes. Yeah, I mean, foreigners say some of the most horrible things against Black South Africans, but somehow it's never considered xenophobic when they say these things. Interesting, right?
by a foreigner in your country, and your excuses, they live better than you, they're in a better housing system, they have a better job, they get paid better than you, then the problem was never the foreign, the problem was you and the system in your country. Because trust me, if you travel to someone else's country, you will do everything within your power to live better. And that will mean working hard, putting in more effort into your work, studying the place, observing where the country people are feeling, and try to fill in those gaps. For example, you know, normally in your country, by 6, all the shops start closing. A foreigner.
My question to foreigners that are so studious and studious when they come to South Africa: you were in your own country and failing miserably. Failing so much, you decided to come to a better country to seek out opportunities because we actually have opportunities available. My question is, why couldn't you create opportunities in your own country? Why couldn't you fill in the gaps in your own country? Why couldn't you be observant and hardworking in your own country to solve the problems and the cries of your own people and be enterprising and entrepreneurial in your own country and come up with ideas and businesses in your own country? You failed in your own country. All of a sudden now you develop a brain when you get to South Africa? No. South Africa has working systems that we fought for as Black South Africans. The systems of South Africa are fighting against Black South Africans because we fought to create these opportunities. So to spite us, right? Those same remnants of the apartheid system are still very active, and they're still being controlled by the same white elites to spite black South Africans who defeated them during apartheid. They're rewarding foreigners, foreign nationals with no skills, no education, nothing, and giving them opportunities, giving them training, giving them preferential treatment, putting them in universities more than black South Africans. Why? Because they're trying to replace black South Africans. Why? Because we don't comply with their enslavement of us. We have fought and pushed back. They hate us for it. But you Africans are compliant. So when you come, they see good little slaves that they can use and exploit the way that they did during apartheid. And you guys accept it. That's why you are preferred. Not because you work harder. You can never work harder than South Africans. We worked hard to build and free ourselves in our own country. You guys, you freed yourselves and then you ran away from the work of building your and developing your country after that. If anybody's lazy, it's you guys. Why don't you go back home and go build your country to show that you're not lazy? But instead, you run away and come to countries that have better opportunities that people have fought for. And then you want to pretend that somehow you're working harder or you're smarter. You're not. There's a globalist agenda against any native population anywhere in the world currently right now. It's called the Great Replacement. Do your research. You guys are not better. If you were, your countries would show us that you are better, would show us you're smarter, would show us that you work harder. So unfortunately, Africans have such a low IQ. They lack understanding, especially when it comes to multidimensional concepts. They lack understanding. They lack a layered comprehension of what's going on around them in the world. They have a very basic grasp of what's going on. It's not layered. They don't understand levels of thinking. They don't understand the deep state, Agenda 2030, the agendas that are being pushed by globalists. They just see, oh, I'm making money, so I must be working harder. I am richer than you. That's as far as they can reason. So when you hear someone talking garbage like this, it's very annoying because they can't do this in their own countries. All the stuff they're saying that they're doing in South Africa, why did you fail to do it in Nigeria? They can't answer that question. They can't answer that question. That's the one question where they skip the topic. They change the topic to something else. They can't answer it. Why couldn't you make it in Nigeria and develop your country in Nigeria? They will tell you, oh, but other people, don't tell us about other people or other what, about traveling. And no, in your country, did you not work hard? So why couldn't you be successful? Oh, the government does. Yes, the people form the government. You're supposed to change the system and make it work for you in your own country. That's why South Africans are fighting for their own country, their own government to do better for them. So you in Nigeria, instead of fighting for a government that does better for you, you ran away from the work. You're lazy.
Would come and decide, oh no, I'll close at 8. And do you see how they make more money? Because don't tell me after 6, automatically everybody doesn't want to buy something. No, people still want to buy things.
Good God, I'm really disappointed in you. I am really disappointed in your irrationality, and I'm going to show you that. And I hope you're going to look at that and change. Because to an extent, I thought you were rational. To the extent that you sounded so pretty. You know, people don't look pretty to me, they sound pretty. You sounded so pretty that in some cases I accorded you my wife to be. But you see, let me tell people something. As a Nigerian, you put more effort in fighting to ensure that the Nigerian aspect of you don't come out than you put more effort in trying to be some other person, right? You must continue. For me, I keep fighting day and night to ensure that I don't identify as a Nigerian behaviorally, mentally. That's why I'm always very skeptic to ensure that the way I think is different from the way Nigerians think. Because at the end of it all, I'll make a caricature of myself. Thinking Nigerian means thinking irrational. Thinking Nigerian means thinking stupidly. Thinking Nigerian means you're totally deformed. I'm telling you. Well, I've always been this kind of a person. I've had this nature of, maybe I had an attraction with a girl. We ran out, we ran together, we had a relationship and all those things. And probably the girl does something and she would expect on grounds that I felt attracted to her, that I would not speak against her. No, I would speak against you more than I speak against other people. I've always been known as that person that does that, even in my place of work, right? So that's what I do, because all I care about is the truth. So while I would say, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, I'm actually not sorry, so I'm going to tell you the truth. So let's face exactly what you stated to prove that you were really irrational. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not really sorry. You were really not irrational. So you said that if a man feels threatened on grounds that a foreigner is succeeding more than he, then that man must have to understand that the problem is not the foreigner but him or the system, right? We pretty much get what you're trying to say, because a lot of Nigerians have said it's their national anthem right now. I'm going to straitjacket a number of things too. While I'm even saying it sounds so achy, and I'm shocked on how you're unable to see this. Now, the other thing you said, you give an example and say, you can imagine you're coming into a person's society to check when that person had failed, to see where you can succeed in that person's society. Success in another man's society. I'm coming on. Just let it be sinking in, so that you're already knowing where you're failing at this. Then you give an example. You give an example and say, you can come to an area and you notice that they close by 6 and you're not closing by blah, 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 blah. Listen to me. Let's put it this way. Let's reason, because I think within you, because of what you had said about Ghanaians, there is a measure of reasonability with you, right? Or measure of reasonability in you. Now let's talk. Have you really thought that it is owing to that you're, let me put it in a way you would understand, that you're not closing by 6 in showing that you're very hardworking, that had made your country become so distasteful, your own country become so distasteful that you had to leave your country for another man's country, and you went to another man's country and you're looking for where that man had failed, so that you succeed. This is so dumb. Now let me tell you, first of all, there are things you got so wrong. In fact, you got everything wrong. You don't go to another man's land to succeed. You don't go to another man's land. You go to another man's land to pay a visit, except you were captured, except you're a captive. You don't go to another man's land to succeed. That's the law. Success is defined based on how much you have thrived, underline this one, in your society. I just kept quiet so that it will sink inside of you. Whatever you think you had achieved, as long as it's not in your society, it is not an achievement, it is not thriving, it is not success. That's number one. Number two is, all these Nigerians thinking success is defined by how much money you make. Have you people truly asked yourself why Nigerians have money but Nigeria is a dumpster? Nigeria is an incinerator. Have you truly asked yourself that? Ladies, success is not in how much money you've made. Success is in how much your society is thriving. That's why Nigerians are scattered all over the world. Go and check societies that are thriving. In fact, let's define thriving. Let's use it from this. Societies that Nigerians are running to. You notice that individually, these people are not concerned about making money. They are concerned about collective thrive. Have you truly thought that it is in closing by 6 o'clock and staying true to their words that had given, that it is the mentality that had helped them in creating that society that you're struggling to get into, that plays out in the same, it is the same mentality that plays out in their closing by 6, and you're coming in to show that you're very hardworking. So when others close by 6, you continue working till 8 to show you want to make money. Have you truly thought of it? No. Have you truly thought of this? No, you've not really thought of it. Oh God. You see, that's why I always tell people, run. You see, if you've run away from Nigeria, run away from Nigerians and run away from the Nigerian mentality. Let me repeat this. If you run away from Nigeria as a society, run away from Nigerians as a people, and run away from Nigeria, to run away from Nigerian mentality to help you a lot. Which means a lot of people can run away from Nigeria as a society, but they never run away from Nigerians as a people. That's why they keep on exhibiting the Nigerian nature. And at the end of it all, I promise you, you'll make a cajole of yourself. Because Nigerians are cajoles everywhere. They are fools everywhere they go. And this, oh Lord, I'm disappointed and I feel so hot. Because I actually felt attracted to this girl and she messed the whole thing up. God, why? Why would Nigerians always disappoint me? I was really attracted to you, but you messed it up. How can you be beautiful but don't think? This is what we call beauty without brains. Have you really thought? You see, the fact is, you see, the problem is that it is in your thinking success is measured based on how much money you've made that Nigeria had become what it is today. It is in our valuing success and defining it based on how much money we've made that Nigeria has become what it is today. And that's why Nigerians themselves are running away. Have you really thought of, did you ask yourself, the society I'm going into, there are people there, right? Now, there were people that created that society. Now, you ask yourself, what is the culture that plays out from the mentality that they have, that had given rise to the society that they have created, which I admire so much as to live in my own society to come to that? Have you really asked yourself that? This is a rationality now. Did you not do verbal aptitude or quantitative reasoning? Even in Nigeria, did you not do this? It should be rational for you. That makes you, because once you've asked yourself such a question, it will make you understand that there is something about these people closing by 6 and staying true to the words. There's something about these people, telling you, I can't take you to a place I do not know. I can't take you in, like, even if you've got a whole lot of money. I'm not really interested in making extra money, but I'm really interested in keeping it 100, like in the safety and the jurisdiction of the society. Have you truly asked yourself why such a person did that? Oh, you think you're the only person that wants to make money? No, they are restricted from not making money a priority because they understand that making money a priority is what destroys the society. And you look at it, what's the evidence? You made money a priority. That's why your society is distasteful and you left your society. Use your brain now. Oh no, you disappointed me. I'm ashamed of you.
A complete failure, a big disappointment to us as South Africans. Why haven't we heard anything about that? Minister's priorities as well as the SONA priority. And I'm really, really disappointed that nothing was said about it in your presentation. Nothing was said about the fact that we haven't had a single report since the deployment in terms of successes, in terms of informing South Africans where we are, what has happened, is it working, is it not working. If anything, since the deployment of the SANDF, there's been more deaths on the Cape Flats. If anything, it almost feels like a drive-by, like a wedding drive-by where a couple is driving through the community and everyone is waving and smiling. There's absolutely no operations taking place. And I speak from a point of being present at these operations, Minister. I was driving behind 3 of these operations in different areas on the Western Cape for over an hour. And guess what? Not a single time did SAPS or SANDF stop to actually go in anywhere. They drove through the community, they smiled and they waved and they went to park and that was the end. What is happening? We have allocated billions. We literally see only one SANDF, and sorry if I'm going to be stuck here for a while, one SANDF van with 8 members and 4 SAPS vehicles in hard-hit communities. And at this point, we're having more than 100. We speak about the vulnerable women and children. That is where your victims are coming from, the Western Cape. I want to ask, why don't we have, your presentation speaks to a whole of government approach. Why don't we have a whole of government approach when it comes to this intervention? What stops us? What are the challenges? Because it has clearly fallen flat on its back. Why haven't we included forensics in this operation? It's not there. There's no intelligence. We speak to the members that's part of these operations. There's absolutely no intelligence. They don't know where to go and where to start. And that's the reality. So please, can we have feedback on the SANDF deployment, why it's not working, and what next? I think that's the first thing.
Do you know that when South Africans had their problem during the period of apartheid, that so many African countries came to the aid of South Africans, and now South Africans are becoming hostile to other African countries? You see that particular statement? You see that particular statement? God will punish you if you ever make that statement. You see that particular statement that a lot of people have been making against South Africans? You people are very stupid for making such statements. And I'll tell you people why such statement does not hold water at all. I've had it with this Robbie. Enough is enough. You cannot always continue becoming irresponsible and begging to be tolerated. Coming around to tell us, during the period of South Africans' appetite, a whole lot of African societies came to their aid. Therefore, so what? Let's paint a picture so that you people would understand that this thing is not passion. Let's be very fair to ourselves. So, because you came to the aid of a girl when she was in a problem, when she was stranded, and you gave her a measure of aid, maybe she lost her money, right? And then you helped her. That means that girl should open her legs for you so that you can sexually abuse her. You see, this is a Nigerian thing. That's exactly what they do, even in relationships. A Nigerian always looks out for the vulnerability of a girl, a Nigerian man. That's why I'm usually happy when I hear things like a Nigerian girl broke the heart of a Nigerian man. I like this thing, like the very recent event happening with that guy that went on a podcast and was crying like a fool. Those are the kind of things I love. Because at the beginning, what they do is they look out for the vulnerability of a lady. Let me give an example. A Nigerian lady shared an experience with her friend. So they went to a restaurant, and this is exactly, just understand this, because this is exactly what Nigerians like doing. So a lady and her friend went to a restaurant, and they were eating. So suddenly, while they wanted to make their payments, the person told them that certain guys had already made their payments. And they looked at the other table to see those guys. So they waved at those guys in gratitude and went back to their table. Those guys took offense on grounds that they did not come to their own table. They did not leave their table as ladies and come to the tables of those guys. So you see that Nigerians, and so they told the person, the waiter, to give them back their money so that the girls would pay their money. You can imagine how childish Nigerians are. That is how retarded, that is how imbecilic, that is how stupid, that is how moronic, that is how you know, Nigerians are disgusting. Nigerians are disgusting. That's why their skin shouldn't touch me. Rather lie side by side with a snake than stay with a Nigerian. I'm telling you the truth. And a snake is the creepiest thing that I hate. Like, it's the creepiest thing that I know. But I'd rather make a room to stay with a snake than stay with a Nigerian. I'm telling you the truth. These people disgust me by every week. You see how childish that thing is? You paid for a lady without her asking you. First of all, did South Africans beg anybody? The truth was that South Africans were going to get their shit together anyways. It was a matter of time. It's just like the girl that was stranded. Even if you never helped her, you can't come back there and meet her still stranded. She would find her shit together. She would get her shit together anyways. So it's either you help and go your way. It's either you help and go. Don't help expecting to collect afterward. That is the most disgusting thing to do. South Africans in their period of appetite were helped. Did they beg you to help them? They were getting their shit together one after the other. At worst case scenario, it would have taken a longer time. And delay does not mean denial. They would have taken a longer time, but these people were making these efforts. Botswana helped South Africans, but you never hear South Africa, blah 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 blah. I don't know. Then South Africans never begged anybody to help them. They were getting their shit together. It was a matter of time. It was a question of, okay, if by helping them, it took maybe 2 years for them to gain their independence. Now, if you never helped them, it probably would have taken 5 years. But the fact remains that they would have gotten their independence, even in a better way. Why? Because a patient dog eats the fattest bone. Bastards. So because you aided that girl when she was stranded, which she never asked you, you came and aided, you presented yourself to be the good Samaritan, right? And now came to aid the girl. Just because you aided that girl, that means that girl, you're now begging that girl to open her legs so that you can continue using her up like a whore. Right? So that you can continue using her up like a whore. Because you aided her, it now makes you eligible to sexually abuse her. So that she can now open her legs for no. These are the things they keep on doing to Nigerian ladies. Right? That it tells you the extent at which Nigerian ladies are in bondage with Nigerian men. Want to go to South Africa because you aided South Africa. They never asked you during the period of apartheid. You now want them to allow you to continue messing their society. You people are lucky I'm not in South Africa. That is your luck. Say that thing in my hearing if I was in South Africa. If I don't cut you down, God will punish me. I'm telling you the truth. Try it. By the time I cut you down and put it on television, others will never say that word again. Criminals, bastards.
Are you using to reside in South Africa that allows you to trade? You don't have a permit to reside. The passport, the permit that is stamped in your passport, which one are you using? You don't have.
You don't have
Which
a passport.
What is it that is stamped on your passport there?
No, there's nothing.
So you are on what visa or on what permit for you to be able to be active in our economy in South Africa? Kupabon? This is not a trading permit. What did you say when you were crossing on January, when you were coming here? Yeah? They cannot just give you 90 days for nothing. It's not possible, and you cannot trade in our economy when you don't have a visa to do so. West part, you are just here by the court. Please pack, or we are calling in TMPD to remove you now.
Bruh, it's so dangerous to be selling things that people eat without your food going through the regulatory bodies to inspect whether this is safe for people to eat. You can't do things like this. On top of her being in the country, possibly illegally, second thing, she shouldn't be operating a business. You don't operate in the informal sector when you are a foreigner. That's according to our immigration laws. You cannot function in the informal sector. It's not for foreigners, it's for locals. South Africans are poor themselves, they're struggling. These are jobs for them, not for you. You are taking up space and opportunities away from our people. Go back to your country, fight your government. Every African nation has to deal with that burden of fighting their government for a better country. You cannot run away and then come and enjoy the spoils of a country who fought and died to receive the benefits that they have. Stop being lazy, Africa. Go home and fight your governments. You cannot be selling food and little snacks in a foreign country. Why don't you do this in your own country? Your government is stopping you from doing this. Then you need to fight that government. But you cannot be selling food. Those things are unregulated. When our people die, you can easily go back to your country or just skip the province and go to another province and never be caught for killing people because your stuff is not regulated. You're selling things that we don't know where it comes from. Where do you get your supply? Who's supplying you with these things? Are you committing theft to get the supply? If you're poor and you're coming into the country as a refugee, where do you get your supply? What regulatory bodies did your supply go through to give you permission to sell to people things that they are eating and putting in their bodies? When our people get sick or our people die, you will not be held accountable because you're not even on record in the country. There's no fingerprints, there's nothing. You can run away to another province and you'll never be caught. Stop putting our lives in danger in the name of Pan-Africanism. This is wrong, what you Africans are doing. You come from countries that don't have any structures, so you think you can come to South Africa and do the same thing. You want to turn our country into your shithole country, and we're not allowing you to do it. So now you're calling us xenophobic. Fuck off. Go fuck yourselves.
And don't
Pack.
come back.
And don't come back.
Don't come back.
Pack, sisters.
You are not allowed to do this formal trading, informal trading. You are not allowed.
Pack, sisters.
And you
Pack.
know very well.
And
I'm,
you see-
I'm 100% sure you never even applied for the permit because you don't even qualify for it.
Because even if he applied, what permit is she using to apply from TMPD? So, sisters, Pack, people were protesting yesterday, just 2 days ago here. Today, you guys are out. Tomorrow, you will be saying we are beating you. Pack your things.
Yeah, pack
Pack your things. We are still busy there. We are still busy there in a court case of another foreign. And see how livered you guys are. Just next to the High Court, you are doing something totally illegal. Eh? Pack, says. So the metro, they don't see you when you are here.
They do.
And then what are they saying when they see you here? Trading on a pedestrian walk. This is a pedestrian walk, it's not a shop. And we as South Africans, there's a reason we know we have stalls, and then this is for people to move. So somebody with a wheelchair, you are just affording them this space. When somebody with a wheelchair, when you have taken almost half of the pavement, this is where we must walk. It's not a shop for Africans. Please pack up.
Steve!
Steve! It's not allowed what you guys are doing. Respect us the same way we are respecting Malawian. Okay? Steve, like these people are not allowed to trade on the pavement. This one has only permit over South Africa. That is not what she said. She said she has applied this. We say she has applied, and the rule of the permit, if permit is yours, when as the applicant, you should be the one there or the person you have registered as your next of kin inside.
Like Maria Mama,
Steve, Molawa permit anywhere in any metro. However, woof about Steve, this is your permit. You put the next of kin, meaning when a house sitting, the next of kin will be the one there, and you cannot register the person who's illegal in the country. Well, understand? Well, understand? Well, understand that Steve, Moto, Anna, Ntoya Udula, South Africa. So you cannot put him there. If you are now, your next of kin should be the one here. Ma, Agas qualify. He's a foreigner. Section 22 provides them to be. No, Ramu Puti South Malad, South Africa, and Steve, the Sadumala Batubali Berekisaka information, I'll never apply.
I can't know met them how Maramed how 6 months because at a moko port of entry, Mutis or Kiluiran come on South Africa, you have a business of pleasure now. Yena, if you are no apply, when you come put or couple hats and Aqua over the Torena, and I invest. Why what? So, a risk I read difficult Rasha Shaya. Steve, Narsamyaka, you
My sister, where do you come from?
Malam.
Malam. Oh, you from Malam. Uto reki sama strateng. No, Luna Bor. Paka sis.
Steve Wayaga. Steve,
show me your picture, Steve.
Pause. I just talk about it. You dream it. I lived it. The thing is this. You're not on the intellectual plane. You understand what I'm saying? You haven't got a ticket to the flight. You're at the boarding gate.
Just a little humor from Nota. Sometimes you gotta, break these things up a bit, make you guys laugh a little bit, because I know it's very intense videos and I'm always talking about serious things, but every now and again, that's a little commercial break. Bring some laughter back. But let's continue.
I've never seen a woman make a broke man rich, but I've seen plenty of men make broke women rich. Do you think that we have a problem in society? We definitely do. We got many of them. But why is it that, a woman will never stay with a broke man, but a broke man has no problem, providing and building up a broke woman? Because the thing is nowadays, most broke women don't even think they're broke. They just think that they're dating the wrong man. But then they'll look at a guy who's working fucking 60 hours a week at a job that doesn't really pay that much, but he's doing his fucking best, and she'll look at him and be like, that's broke boy energy. No, that's hubby energy, actually. That's fucking husband material, actually. I feel like as women, we have such a strong desire to be taken care of that we forget that men are human beings.
You're saying she must study.
To go for drones.
100%.
Go for drones.
So you are even in the right track when if you've got metric and security, drones is the way drones. To go. But it depends how much you've got, because drones to get the one that my son is
educated. How about this? We are uneducated in our own countries. We are not a nonsense in someone else's country. We are cleaning our cities. We have a problem of illegal immigration in our country, and the government is not doing anything. And there's Madlanga Commission that is going on, that is with regards to the corruptions right now as we speak. And some high officials, people have been arrested already. And you know what? Whatever you guys are saying, we are, the people of South Africa, the people shall govern. This is how we knew it. This is how we're going to do it. If the police or any officials or any government that is not going to help us, we're going to take control. And there's nothing you'll do about it. And we are not a nuisance in someone else's country. We are poor, uneducated, whatever you call us, animals or whatever. We are in our country. And we welcome all people, people that have rare skills, people that are going to bring value into South Africa. Not each and every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's going to be roaming around in our street in Johannesburg. Our kids are being sold powder. We've seen this. So whatever that you call us, we don't care. And we're going to do whatever that fit us in South Africa to do it as concerned citizens. So I don't give a shit whether you're in UK, your country, it's your country, or in America, or Ghana, or Nigeria. That's your own issue. It's your country. But if you come to South Africa and you come and create jobs and you come with relevant skills and you come in legally, we don't have a problem with you. You get my point? So please, we don't give a shit whatever that you are saying because of we've had it. We've had it.
Are you done? Can you
That's
answer
plain simple. We've had it. We're not a nuisance in someone else's country. And whatever you sanction us, sanction our company, we don't care.
Can you answer some questions, please? Because it's like you're repeating yourself. Are you open to answer some questions, please? Hello?
Can I ask the first question, please?
All right, go ahead. Please just be straightforward with the question.
Yeah. First of all, good evening, bro. You know, we're all respecting each other here. So my question to you is: so, are you trying to say there are no South Africans committing crimes on other countries?
Bruh, after all that, listen to how stupid the follow-up question is. So for him, if one South African is committing a crime in other people's countries, then it's equivalent to the millions of Nigerians that are committing crimes in South Africa. You see how stupid these people are? They can't reason. They're like, oh, so you mean to tell me there's no South African committing a crime? Nobody said that's not the argument that is being made here. This Nigerian is literally trying to justify criminality. He says as long as one of your people is committing a crime in another person's country, then it's okay for Nigerians to commit crime in South Africa and we shouldn't complain about it. What? Like, it literally just defeats you, bro, because they don't get it. They're not competent enough. They don't have a high enough IQ to have a debate with. They don't debate in good faith. It's not even that they can't debate in good faith. They don't. It's that they can't. They're not intelligent enough to debate in good faith. They deliberately misunderstand your point and argue something that you did not present, or rebut something you didn't present as your argument. It's just room temperature IQ. They can't reason. This is why you can't actually have a debate with a Nigerian. They cannot reason. They can't offer a rebuttal to your argument. They offer a rebuttal to something else that's totally irrelevant. So it's like, oh, so now you're saying South Africans don't commit crime. That's not the argument. If South Africans are committing crimes in other people's countries, then those people are more than entitled to kicking South Africans out. But you don't see anybody kicking South Africans out because we don't commit crimes like that in people's countries. I'm sure one or two, yes, there are. But it's not to the extent that people are saying we want you guys out of our country. You can't compare the two. South Africans are going to do what is best for them in their own country. If you have a problem with South Africans committing crime in your country, you're welcome to kick them out. We don't have a problem with you kicking them out of your country. But in typical Nigerian fashion, he wants to sit there and justify criminality and say we should all commit crimes in other people's countries. It's a free-for-all. Everybody commits crime, so it's okay. How can you be on the side of criminality? How can you be making an argument to justify? We're trying to end crime in the world. You are here saying crime is okay because everybody does it.
Do you know the crazy thing about this clown? He's probably not in Nigeria, but in the name of patriotism, he is here displaying his blind loyalty. Firstly, if a country or a group of people or even an individual cannot take constructive criticism, that individual, that country, that person, that group is not ready to grow. Okay? Now, this is headline from Vanguard, Nigerian newspaper, all right? 62 Nigerians were among the foreign nationals that were arrested in Uganda. And I made that video. I stated it clear. Nigerians are not the only foreign nationals that were arrested. Other foreign nationals were also arrested by the Ugandan authorities. But since you are desperate to showcase your stupidity, you are welcome. Okay? At the end of the day, I need you to understand this. Nigeria needs fixing. It's funny that you guys that are outside Nigeria enjoying the privilege of good governance are the ones defending Nigeria, even when Nigeria is desperately in need of fixing. May God help you.
The president and the Nigerian government sent a very loud message through reciprocity. South Africa, they are feeling it. Not be church, they are feeling it. And countries like our West African brothers, they are just like this, watching and saying, Today, the government of President Tinubu placed a ban on poultry products and other food items. They cannot be imported from outside West Africa communities. I'll tell you what it means.
I've never seen imbeciles like Nigerians. Let me laugh so well, and I'll explain to you people. I've never seen imbeciles. What do you expect from someone that puts on dark shades in a room? Did this one say he's a journalist? A school dropout or a journalist? You know, the Nigerian system is so porous that you will see someone that never completed school, that dropped out of school. Somehow he goes to buy certificates and begins to claim journalists. I mean, retarded, ugly, dumb bastard. Now, let me relate to this. First of all, it is a great shame that Nigerians tend to import food products from South Africa. It's a great shame. Is it food or poultry products? It's a great shame on our path. That's number one. Then number two is South Africans are paid. He says South Africans are paid. South Africans. Are these ones significant? Nigerians think they can make South Africans feel the pain. Listen, instead of coming out to tell us that you are the one feeling so much pain based on what South Africans are doing to Nigerians in South Africa, and you're coming to tell us no imbecility, like Nigerians are so much of imbeciles. You're the one to tell us who feels pain. You're the one to tell me when I feel pain. Whereas you clearly opened your mouth and all we could see is pain. Not the chow. That's why I told you people, they can't speak English and complete English. They would always settle for pidgin. Why? Because they're school dropouts. Ugly and dumb, as usual. South Africans, let me tell you, there is a particular saying that goes this way. A market does not recognize the absence of one person. The market does not feel it. It does not recognize the absence of one person. South Africans are exporting. They are exporting to so many people. It's actually Nigerians that are losing out. You move away ShopRite, we're losing out. You move away DSTV, no more passports. You move away MTN. It is only MTN that can actually do better than all these Glo, Airtel, blah, blah, blah. It's only MTN. Majority of people have MTN. That is South Africa. So which one? Tell me any more that is better than ShopRite in Nigeria. Yet ShopRite is not even the main mall in South Africa. That is the mall where, if you're broke at a particular point in time, you can go to ShopRite. That is the mall we all celebrate in Nigeria. The ShopRite. If you ever, in any stereo, I remember that if ShopRite comes, the particular time he came to a particular state, people there wore their Christmas clothing just to witness and take pictures. Then you would now see Oloshos were everywhere. They would just come around and stay at a place and you think they came to buy something. They are waiting for a dick to ride. They're waiting for a dick to ride that will buy them things. Hungry people, hungry, low, primordial people, imbeciles, prostitutes. You people are disgraceful, useless people. Your lives don't matter. South Africans will feel pain. South Africans don't even know what you're talking about. Like, what the heck are you talking about, you Farf? What the heck are you talking about, retard? What the heck are you talking about? We don't understand what you're talking about, you retard. You're just retarded. You're seeking to be recognized when you're totally insignificant. South Africans are there increasing the way they beat up, burn down everything that belongs to Nigeria. And you're talking about reciprocity. Who cares? Who cares? Now the third point is, guys, he's actually talking about the government of Tinubu, the government of who? imbecility. This is a society that their governments had retrogressed them, had victimized them so much. And you're trying to praise such government because you want to sound like you defeated South Africans. The government of Tinubu. Oh, no. Tinubu will still continue in 2027. No, P2B, I love P2B, but please go and rest. Let this Nigeria suffer some more. Let me it. Go some more. Let them suffer some more, please. Please, P2B, please, just allow this. Let them suffer for more 4 years. A lot of them, because the truth is that a lot of them, criminality will continue. A lot of them will lose their lives. A lot of them will resort to criminality and lose their lives. And even unalive a number of people. Their ladies will be sexually abused normally. So, Tinubu, continue, please. Since they are hailing you on grounds that you made a very confident decisions that Nigerians like. Oh, Tinubu for 2027. Tinubu brought out a policy that went against South Africa. And South Africans are crying. South Africans don't even know you people exist. South Africans, burn down their base, please. Burn it.
That's right, yeah. Please tell me, where did you find these 140 race laws? Are they in the room with you now? Did you find this on an AfriForum post? Because I went and looked, and what I did find was about 10 race laws, give or take. But I found another thing. Roughly 300 race laws that prohibited you from doing all sorts of shit during apartheid days. There's no race law now that is doing the same as the race laws did in apartheid days. That's the weirdest thing. Like, as a white man, you don't have a dom pass. You can just be and buy land and do your thing.
Fellow South Africans, it is clear that whenever... Yeah, guys, look. Any white person in South Africa that thinks that their experience right now is comparable to apartheid South Africa is mentally ill, because the economy is still controlled very much by white South Africans, and that was always the deal, even during the negotiations of the transition, that the economy would remain in the hands of white people, the land would remain in the hands of white people, and effectively, that's pretty much all you really need to build an economy that can help your people to survive. So to say that these 140 whatever race-based laws, which is not even race-based, it's a lie that these are race-based laws. These are laws that try to empower people that were previously disadvantaged because of apartheid. Remember, our constitution does not mention apartheid. Apartheid is something that our constitution tried to sweep under the rug as if it didn't happen, so that we wouldn't have any grounds to seek reparations or to claim what's the word when you anyway, to seek reparations or seek restitution. That's the word I wanted, to seek restitution, right? So in not mentioning it, you pretend that apartheid didn't exist, or that it wasn't as serious as it was, and displacing people from their homes and taking land from them and essentially excluding them from the economy forever. That's why we're still fighting today, because the purpose of apartheid and colonialism was to exclude black people from the economy forever. Forever. So to try to make a comparison or parallel, white people are living far above the poverty line in South Africa in comparison to black and colored people. So it can't be taken seriously. It's actually very disingenuous to the people, the white people who are actually affected by poverty and who've suffered under the system because they're being overlooked, since they themselves were not really beneficiaries of apartheid. So there are genuine cases where there are white people who are living below the poverty line. It's very rare, though, in comparison to black people. And yes, those issues do need to be addressed, but you're not going to be taken seriously when you say that the country has 100 and whatever race-based laws. It's a lie. You guys can go check out these laws yourself and read them. They're online. They're available. You can read them for yourself, and you tell me what you think. You think these are race-based laws? So how exactly are we supposed to give compensation to people that suffered 400 years of colonialism. After the Second Anglo-Boer War, Afrikaners were heavily financed and given land to allow them to rebuild themselves up economically, including given the economic advantage of apartheid, which was to help solve the poor white Afrikaner problem. So why aren't the same things instituted to solve the poor black South African problem? Instead, we are villainized and called xenophobic and called reverse racist and called genocidal, all types of horrible things, when we haven't even had a proper taste of our freedom yet. And the ANC is a puppet government. They're carrying out the instructions of their globalist masters. They're not serving the black population. They serve their own masters. They serve their own agendas. That's why they ignore what black people are asking them to do.
There is misinformation about us and our history. It is our responsibility to correct it, because for some reason, these people think that we do not know our history. For some reason, they think because they have it in their heads that South Africans are uneducated. And yet, as I have shown evidence before, that South Africa is actually leading in literacy, education system, and the best tertiary institutions on the continent. But the person that I want to talk to is the Foreign Minister of Ghana, Mr. Ablakwa. I apologize if I butchered your name. Sir, you lied to the people of Ghana, and it's becoming evident that some West African countries, you guys are liars. You thrive on propaganda. You thrive on victimization, playing the victim whenever you are exposed, because you don't want the world to see your true colors. Sir, you lied about two things. The first thing that you lied about was the gentleman that was approached by South Africans, and then he was asked to go home and fix his country. What was wrong with that? The reason why you are jumping up and down, because you are trying to blindside the people of Ghana because of your failures as government, hence your people coming to South Africa. And you know what your people are actually good at, in as much as South Africans love Ghanaians, they are very good with corruption, especially when it comes to paper trail. Very corrupt, your people. But no. You don't want the world to know that, but we are going to expose it. Why? Because we live with Ghanaians. Ghanaians are quiet. They represent Ghana very, very well. There are those that are naughty, but they are a drop in the ocean, because the majority of Ghanaians in South Africa, they run businesses, honest businesses. They don't sell white powder. They don't swear or disrespect South Africans and things of that nature. However, you do have those like that gentleman that was approached by South Africans, and you did see his papers. And now you're lying to the people of Ghana by saying, oh no, he was legally in South Africa. No, sir. He was not legally in South Africa. And secondly, he's running a business as a person with a visitor's visa that expired a long time ago. And hence he had to go and make corruption on the current one. Hence you are running around and say, oh, he was legally in South Africa. We got it on good faith. You are lying, sir. And you need to be called out for lying. You are a liar. I know Ronald Lamola is not going to tell you that you're a liar because you guys have diplomatic relationships. I am an ordinary South African, and I'm going to tell you straight on your face, sir, you are a liar. The second thing, before we move to the second lie that you told, in South Africa, to run a business, you need to follow our immigration laws. And yet, this very same so-called legally in South Africa, he's running illegal business in South Africa without following our immigration laws. That's another thing you told lies about to the people of Ghana. The second lie that you told about us, our history, how Ghana used to help South Africans. Hey, all these South Africans. Sir, are you a Christian? I don't think you are, sir. Even if you do climb on mountaintop and say, I'm a Christian, you're not. You are a liar. You are the worshiper of the devil, the liar. Because, sir, in South Africa, we know our history. We know who helped us. Kwame Nkrumah was a Pan-Africanist, and it ended there. You helping us during the days of apartheid, show us evidence. Show us evidence, sir. Put it on the table. Show us that this is what Ghana did, and this is what Ghana did, and this is what Ghana did in evidence. substance, something we can touch, something we can see, something we can smell, that the people of Ghana helped the people of South Africa during the days of apartheid. Secondly, in that lie that you tell, sir, ordinary South Africans have nothing. We have nothing. You need to learn our history, Mr. Oblakwa. Learn about South Africans, who we are. We are people of resistance, and we've won every war that was sent towards our direction. Alone, we were never enslaved, and we never sold even one slave to the transatlantic slave trade like you guys did. Oh no, that's the history you don't want to talk about. You sold your own people. We know your history. Because in South Africa, our schools, we do 3 types of history: South African history, African history, as well as global history. And we learned about the transatlantic slave trade. The reason why you have those dungeons there in Ghana is because your forefathers provided land for the transatlantic slave traders. You guys went into the villages and brought your people to be sold. Yeah, evidence is in Ghana. See, I'm providing evidence. Where is your evidence of helping us South Africans? And thirdly, the people that you are talking about, South Africa, it invests in Ghana. Listen, these are the white people who own these companies. You see the stuff that you guys throw in our faces? They are the ones that are running businesses in your country. They are the ones. And secondly, and the people now that are selling us off to you are the politicians that have shares with the white people's companies in your country. Where are ordinary South Africans? No, please, sir, please do me a big favor. You have all the resources as the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Ghana. Go down, climb down from your high horse and go down to the ground and find me South Africans that are running informal businesses in Ghana, that are committing crimes in Ghana. Those that are disrespecting Ghana and its laws and its people. Please do that. You know why you're not going to do it? Because you know very well you're not going to find us there. You know you're not going to find us there. So why is it okay for your people to come here and disrespect our laws? All that South Africans are asking for is that, listen, you are welcome here in South Africa when you are legally here, so that we know who you are, what you're doing here. And if you committed a crime, we know where to get you. Which also includes using international law authorities like Interpol. So that you can come back and then you are held accountable. Why are you such a liar, sir? Why are you worshiping the devil? Why are you making the devil happy, Mr. Oblakwa? You are a liar. A liar, sir. And the third thing that I want to also highlight here is your hypocrisy. You right now are dealing with Nigerians in Ghana. The people of Ghana are on the streets demanding for Nigerians to be returned home, to go home and fix their country. Why is it okay for Ghana to do that, but it's not okay for us to do that? Do you see, sir, that you are the devil worshiper? Yeah, we know. Devil worshippers come in all sorts of sizes. They come wearing suits, and politicians as well. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. We South Africans know our history. You guys need to get it through your thick skulls. We know our history. And on top of that, we know your history as well. You sold human beings to be enslaved in another land by different kind of people. That's evil. But we're not bringing that to your attention. We don't disrespect you with your history. We've been quiet, but you'll find it very easy to come and climb on top of our head and unzip your pants and pee on top of our head. We're not going to allow that. This is our country. We don't give a rat's tail what agreements you had with Ronald Lamula. We are not owned by Ronald Lamula. We are not owned by the ANC. If you want whatever it is that you gave to the ANC, go to the Lutuli house and demand for that. Otherwise, as South Africans, we will collect what you tell us how much we owe you. Tell us how much we owe you so we can pay it back. But you need to produce receipts, sir. Please produce receipts. So it's sickening what you guys are doing. It's sickening because it's evil. You all are evil people. And I'm not talking about the ordinary Ghanaians here. I'm talking about your leaders. Ordinary Ghanaians and ordinary South Africans, they're like this. Brothers and sisters love each other. And then the governments, they come, they want to divide us. Ghanaians don't allow that. And the fooled ones, talk to them. Because tomorrow, you and I, as united as we are, we will change Africa. We will lead Africa. But we need to do it with the truth. That man was not traumatized. That man was not beaten. That man was not assaulted. That man was spoken to. And you saw his papers. How do you go to Ghana to go fix your papers and return in one day? The flight from South Africa to Ghana is up almost 9 hours. And in that, if you leave South Africa at 8 in the morning, you'll probably arrive in Ghana at 5 p.m. Which embassy in Ghana that is opened at 5? So that means he has to sleep over and then wake up and go. Probably he doesn't come from Accra. Maybe he comes from Kumasi or he comes from elsewhere. And then he has to take transport to Accra. And then go back, pack his bags, and then go back to Accra to the airport. Excuse me. Then fly 8 to 9 hours back to South Africa. But he did that in one day. 10th of April, 10th of April. 10th of April exiting South Africa to Ghana. 10th April exiting Ghana to South Africa. Are you okay? You see, you're a liar, sir. You are a liar. You are a liar. I hope you will find it in your heart to look yourself in the mirror, kneel down and beg for forgiveness from God. Come back to your people and tell them the truth. And we're waiting for those receipts. While you are busy collecting the receipts, take a trip to the dungeons and see what your forefathers did to your own people.
Into ekushayo nje indlela enye into yabo kodwa emacingwane sengikhuluma nawe ke. Wena amacingwane unobuhlakani engazi ukuthi ngingakuchaza kanjani. Unobuholi nobuhlakani. Into ekushayo nje indlela obeya ngayo. Mina ngisachaza ngithi nami ngichaza umbono wami macingwane. Ongawuphikisa nawo kodwa kamanje uzwe. Yabo. Mana ungacimisa phela manje angikho igroup yokuchakaza. Angikho igroup yokuchakaza. Ngenzela ukuthi ungaze uthethe kakhulu. Kodwa engikushoyo ukuthi abantu ababesakuzwa ngoba uvela uthethe. Yabo. Kanti amaphuzo areza ngendlela abaleke ngayo ngiyafisa ukuthi angathola indlela yokurezea ngendlela musokufuna ungithethe yabona akufuna ungithethe mana ke ngizwe ukuthi ngithini ngithi no ungathambi ngithi mina fanele ushintshe khona izinto ongathi mengekho serious kakhulu uyabo ungathethi ungathetha mangekho serious kakhulu uyimemezele kodwa macingwane cha khona into ereza emayelana nosiko ebalekile yagcina ingazwakalanga khona wagcina engazi ukuthi kulwa amagezi nabantu abakhulumela usiko Leo is a very important conversation macingwane fanele libe khona, but ayingasound engazuthi wena homophobic angazomyangizwa yini kodwa lento awuyikhuluma ngisasho namanje i-conversation ebalekile ekumele ibe khona eSouth Africa and afanele sibalele lezi zinto ayishoyo khona into eziningi oyishoyo la ezibalekile macingwane ngifisa ngathi masuzoyiraise lezi zinto ezibalekile ungathethi khona nabangakuzwa bezokuzwa ngoba you are an important voice emphakathini kodwa mayengathethi
in our society
ingathuki futhi inhlamba.
Siyabonga kakhulu ngenza kwethu as a president of the
So there's a guy that came on here and shared a very interesting video about how he feels the middle class have battles to fight if they feel that the people fighting against illegal immigration are fighting a useless fight. And if we look at what's happening, the majority of that are people from the lower class. And he pointed at the middle class. The middle class have a battle to fight. He suggested fighting against white foreigners. We have a whole city sinking full of people that are capable of fighting what is going on in there. Too laid back. And I'd like to use this message to amplify what he was saying. One, we don't fight about what's happening with food. There's a whole lot of shigas happening with food. Prices are going up, they don't come back down. We hear stories about, this is happening. They go up, they don't come back down. Story for another day. Then we have the upper class. The upper class, this responsibility that they have in this fight is fighting against white monopoly. Things that exist right now, systems like BEE, need to be revised and made even stronger to make sure that we have a hold in this fight. Everyone has a role to play. If you feel like you don't have a place to go to or a place to stand and fight against, you are a problem.
It is so unfortunate that we're waiting on the president of Nigeria to do the job that our celebrities can do. The Nigerian celebrities. You people are the most useless sets of people I've ever seen. But I'm really not disappointed in you people because I do not expect you people to do anything rational. I mean, are you people not Nigerians like any other Nigerian out there who are irresponsible and don't know their duty? When life had presented you with a privilege, it's not for you to take things for yourself, but for you to contribute immensely to the development of your society. To the development of your society. There is this particular Ghanaian woman that I love so much. She would always call me the Nigerian president. And the truth is that the Nigerian president has little effect in fixing Nigeria as a people. So I don't even fancy being a Nigerian president. They have little effect in fixing Nigerians as a people. And let me tell you something, no matter the policies you establish, no matter how well you make Nigeria to function, as long as you have not fixed Nigerians here, as long as you have not fixed them here, all those things you had established would be a waste. If you like, provide state police, provide this one police. I mean, no disrespect to P2B. P2B was one time the governor of Anambra State, right? He became the governor for complete 8 years. Let's just assume that things were really good whilst in Anambra, right? But the moment he went down as the governor, how is Anambra today? The next governor that went into that seat started plundering. Why? Now it tells you that the Nigerian government has no effect. They have little duties to do in fixing Nigeria. They have nothing. Their actions has no effect, except they also include the abilities of celebrities. The abilities, sort like they are celebrities, right? Except they include the ability of sensitization. Sensitization. That's what I wanted to say. You can't change Nigeria by establishing policies that will that will develop Nigeria and all those things. Nigerians will be the one destroying Nigeria. Nigerians as a people, they will be the one destroying Nigeria. I'm telling you the truth. How do I prove it? Are Nigerians not in societies that have working systems? Are Nigerians not in the US? Are Nigerians not in the UK? Are Nigerians not in Dubai? Are Nigerians not in South Africa? South Africa is where education is free, healthcare systems are free, everything is working, 24-hour supply, light supply, right? Ghana, light everywhere. But how do Nigerians respond to these things, to these working systems? They use those working systems to do what? To plot evil, to run more evil, right? Those are Nigerians. To tell you the truth, that even if P2B becomes the president of Nigeria, it changes nothing. It changes nothing. I'm telling you the truth. P2B would do his best. He would set up things, working systems, but it would not fix Nigerians. Our worst case scenario, after P2B is done being the president of Nigeria, Nigeria will go back to what it used to be and worse. You don't get it. If you want to fix a society, you start with fixing the minds of people. That was why when Barabbas came to Christ and told him, through Judas Iscariot, and a lot of you don't know the story, but you've got to read history. You've got to become voracious readers. That's why Barabbas met Christ and told him, listen, we know what you're capable of doing. Your throne awaits you. Come and deliver us from the hands of these Romans. With your power, with what we've seen that you can do, you are indeed the King of the Jews. Jesus Christ said, I did not come to lead, I came to teach. And that is exactly what Ace has come to do. That's why I am pursuing a career in being a celebrity, just because of the influence. Now let me paint a picture. Imagine if Jim Ike, as a celebrity, is doing what I'm doing right now. Do you know how many Nigerians would have been changed? Imagine if Jim Ike could take to the media and tell Nigerians how what they've been suffering from in all these years are owed to a particular mentality that they've imbibed. I enter buses, I talk about these things, and I realize that Nigerians really are ignorant of how the actions had culminated to the effects that had, festered, had inhibited the society from developing. And once you bring it closer to them, and they're like, oh my God, I never thought of this. And that's when I begin to pity them in most cases. Because the impression is that they are doing right, and it is their government that's making things really hard for them, without knowing that it is their reactions. It is what they had made, their value system that had crippled the society. Where they value money, the society is crippled.
Here's another part that people seem to be missing here. Southern Africans have a different social structure compared to the north and west of Africa, where people were sold into slavery by their own neighbors. So they have unresolved issues where the moment they got independence, they started civil wars because those tribes have never met a common ground amongst each other, as we did here in Southern Africa, because we did fight as well. So you cannot expect those issues to be resolved in an instant. Look, the moment in West Africa an economy starts growing, it benefits a certain tribe. That triggers another civil wars again, because tribally they do not get along. So people can never be allowed to set territory in our own land, where they cannot find tribal peace in their own land, to be setting territory here. Southern African social structure evolves around the concept of sharing. We call it Ubuntu. With that being said, though, we cannot share with people who are not willing to share amongst each other back at home. We cannot let them set territory here. Similar way we let the Dutch and the English fight for South Africa, and now they run the economy. We cannot let more people set up territory and break our social structures here. This has nothing to do with their color. It has to do with the habits that come with setting up territory. We've seen their territories. They don't look nice. So we cannot allow them to set territory here, where we are trying. We live here with all different tribes in South Africa. We have vendors, everyone. We get along. We share everything amongst each other. And we are still fighting for the Europeans to understand that concept, that we need to share and live in peace in this country, and not have certain people benefit.
This is what I see. Guys, bonang, this is sewage. This is sewage. Batho ba phela mo lentjena bonang guys. Ke sewage ntwena. Guys, and a caliper all the time. What about work? I'm home shabeng ali school ka teng. Guys, look hleng. Batho bana ba ntloyena ba phela jwang ka hara sewage. Guys, whoa. I'm coming. Batho, look. This is my friend's house. Just look at the sewage, guys. Really? Is this the South Africa that we voted for. Look, le ge batho ba mona ba phela jwang hle bathong shebang. Guys, cannot be correct. It cannot be correct. Momuso NC assembly. This is worse. Shebang. This has been like this, but for 3 months. Bonanhle, guys. How do you expect these people to live in a situation like this? This cannot be correct. This cannot be correct.
Bafethu ngifuna ukukhuluma ngamakwerekwere wala eMzansi namakwerekwere wase-States yithi la. Please don't let legama lobukwerekwere lihlabe, please. As umuntu ohleli e-States ne ngomthetho, even though lokha izinto zethu ziyaphela za-expire, so hlala vele ngobukwerekwere lobu. If you know, you know. Ijeni yakhona mfethu is gonna humble you, and you need to be humble because akusi country yami le. Kuyabona akusi country yami, ama-resources wale country, I don't feel entitled to them. Like owabo mfethu ngizele lapho kuzohustlisha mina, abide by the law, like nje ngiphushe ngithule silently. Bonke bayazi nabo ngale ndoda, uyaphusha uthulile, awuringa bhayi awuphaphi. Dala ama-tax mfethu, ama-tax wakhona asitholi ma-benefits from one, sithulile siyaherezwa, uyangithola. Sinabobhuti, sinabosisi, sinama-cousin, whatever you wanna call them, ababuya ngale emazweni amanye wala e-Afrika. Mebafika ngapha mfethu, like the entitlement is just disturbing. As a citizen yala e-South Africa, mina, I'm entitled to certain benefits. Mengale estates, I cannot go with the same mentality yoguti mfethu I deserve this, I deserve that. And mind you, mina niyasazi stories sami, mina ngihluphekile kada, and into engihluphekise kakhulu mawukuthi anginazi izinto eziproper ezokuthi ngikwazi ukumaneuver life kada. Ama-benefits wabo guys, owabo angeke ngiphikisane owabo. So the nerve of people coming here SA and demanding is absurd. Ignabantu la South Africa who feel entitled to the same benefits South Africans should have. So thina ama-South Africans siyotholani ke thina? Siyotholani? Yini esenza special ke? Yini esenza special? If abantu bazofika la country yethu bathatha ama-resources, bathathe whatever ebafuna ukuyithatha nje. Awa guys, it's upsetting. It's upsetting.
Sport Center monana ke feta ke bona edi ke ona ntate o ja monate o tlile monana ho tletse metsi bona ga taba ka metsi edi o tsaba ka koletse hodimo tse sa kene metsi wa pega monate le jeresi mona gona ga hatse re phela ka thata ho itjella tšhelete ha monate fela ho itjella monate ke bo edi ntate gona ga lapile re kgathetse ho tletse metsi edutse ba ka kole ya hodimo ntate kole re ha le ka ga yona wa mmona go kgotsofetse mare mona o tletse metsi ka ga tsela bona na tsela jwa sheba tsela jwa ntate ho ya kwanana o khutlo ho ya kwanana o shebe na tsela jwa sheba tsela na jwa ntate edi yana o ja monate ntate o kentse diaparo ntate ke batho ba khorang ba jang ha monate ha gona ntse ga lapa ke bo edi ntate ya tla nako ya go le nna ke tloeja ke tlo batla dipapa le nna ke batla ditomoso metoho dipanana gore ke kgone go tshwara lefatshe la South Africa ke bone batho ba teng a na le papa fela ba ja ntate wa ka edu ja monate o gotse le katiba ya maria o ga se ka hatsela ja monate dipapa re atla le nna ke ata subtistel ke atla ke tloeja nthene edi ya e jang Blue Fountain man edu ja monate o ja nthongolong ha monate no ke tente ke ne ke tona edu tswa ka teng o monate o ntsa mo mona molomo justice.
Guys, I can't believe I only found out about this now, but did you know that the Church of Scientology owns several big lavish properties in South Africa, which includes this massive castle in Midrand. It's called Castle Kyalami, and just look at the size of this thing. In fact, you can see it from kilometers away because it's positioned on the highest point in the area. And not only is this castle huge from the outside, but it's also extremely fancy on the inside. And when it was first sold to Scientologists back in 2008, they spent years was preparing it to become the hub or headquarters of the religion for the entire African continent. And since 2019, it served as sort of a spiritual retreat for Scientologists where they can go for advanced training. And that's not all, guys, because the Church of Scientology also owns a big 10-story property in the middle of Port Elizabeth CBD called the United Building. And recently it had renovations reportedly valued at billions. And as you can see, this place is also very fancy. Remember, this is a worldwide wealthy religion. Now, while the Church of Scientology have a bit of a bad reputation for reasons we won't get into right now, they claim they are doing a lot of good humanitarian work in South Africa. Let me know what you guys think about this.
As South Africans, we do not recognize the Church of Scientology, and we were not consulted for them to buy land that should belong to the natives of this country who fought and died for the land is now just being sold all willy-nilly to foreigners. I'm sorry, that's not recognized. According to South Africans, according to the natives of the country, we do not recognize Scientologists. We do not recognize this purchase of land and this church of theirs that they've erected without the permission of the citizens. These secret deals that are being cut by our politicians are a result of pure corruption, and we do not acknowledge them. So just know, when we're in power, we're going to remove all of you. Each and every last one of you. You cannot function in our country. You can go function somewhere else. Go look for another destination somewhere else. Leave our country alone. South Africa is not for sale.
South Africans, the government has published a new draft law to amend the PAI Act, which is the law dealing with illegal evictions and unlawful occupation of land. So if Wagawaibuzugути, why can someone invade land overnight, stop paying rent, but refuse to leave your property, and hijack buildings in our cities while owners wait years for justice? Well, this bill is government's attempt to respond to those challenges. But does it go far enough? Well, let's unpack it. Hi guys, my name is Prince Ntombeni Omaduma, co-founder of South Africans for Constitutional Reform. This bill is meant to update the existing Prevention of Illegal Eviction from and Unlawful Occupation of Land Act, or PAI Act in short. The original law was created to stop unlawful evictions, especially after apartheid, where people were removed from their homes without protection. But over time, the law started producing unintended consequences. Today, we are facing serious challenges: organized land invasions, syndicates selling illegal plots, hijacked buildings in our cities, and non-paying tenants refusing to vacate private property. Meanwhile, landlords lose income, property owners carry legal costs, municipalities avoid accountability, and court processes drag on for months or for years. That's the frustration many South Africans have. So this new bill is trying to fix some of these problems. It makes it a crime to organize or incite land invasions, with fines up to 2 million rand or imprisonment. The law allows courts, in some cases, to grant eviction without forcing the state to provide alternative accommodation. It requires municipalities and government departments to be part of eviction cases. And it tells courts to consider the scale and frequency of land invasions. So yes, this is a step forward. But here's the problem: it does not go far enough. There is still no fast response to stop land invasions when they start. There is no clear distinction between a non-paying tenant, a land invasion, and a hijacked building. Municipalities still face no real consequences for failing to act, and people can still occupy unsafe land, putting lives at risk. So while the bill improves the system, it does not fix it. As South Africans for Constitutional Reform, SACR, we believe the law must protect human dignity, but it must also protect lawful ownership and public safety. So this is what we are proposing. Number one, faster and time-bound eviction processes. Number two, clear legal categories for different types of occupation. Number three, immediate action against unsafe land occupation. And lastly, real accountability for municipalities. This bill is open for public comment right now, and your voice matters. So this is what you can do. You can either submit directly to the Department of Human Settlements or through us, South Africans for Constitutional Reform, SACR, using our Google form. If you are watching this video from TikTok, please click the link in my bio to find the Google form. If you are on Facebook or X, the link is in the caption. We are collecting a public input to build a strong unified submission, because this is not just about law. This is about fairness, safety, and the future of our communities. You have until the 1st of June to send us your inputs. Thank you for watching.
What we saw.
Yeah, guys, that's it for now. I'll be back. I'm gonna keep streaming today, man. I'm gonna see how many more videos I can make. Thank you for tuning in. Analyses of sorts. Until next time. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Happy bro.